When Harry said to Harrison last night that he could get Shakira back if he wanted, I got this really weird, horrible feeling inside, and I thought, no wonder there's so many women who detest men, and I know that not all men are the same, and that I'm all about equality for all, but the more he speaks, the more I think, oh shit man, I see where some of these women are coming from. Love Island UK episode 33. If you've tried to watch my video about episode 32, the sound's been removed, and I think it's because I said what Tony thought Lorne and Harrison done in the bedroom, but if you want to see it, it is on my Poison Pixie YouTube channel. So anyway, at the end of episode 32, Tony chose Harrison, even though she's too good for him, even though she's done with him, even though he's a compulsive lying skis bag bastard. And Cash was upset, and he was crying. And I thought, you know what? Cash for the win. I fucking love Cash. I stitched one of his videos yesterday where he's dancing, and I went onto his page and he was just dancing with his friends, having a good time, and I was like, yes, he's just like so fun. We don't get to see this side of his personality in the house. And some absolute fucking fanny in the comments said something like, oh, I had a feeling he was batting for the other team, and this has confirmed it. Do people still speak as if it's 1952? She's an absolute fucking toxic witch. When I commented on it, she said, you get the gist, you're another one. And I said, another what? I'm still waiting on the reply. I don't know how people can still speak that way and have that mindset and not be embarrassed to exist. But anyway, Cash to win. Let's couple him up with somebody. Let's get him somebody amazing. He was so patient with Tony. In my opinion, too patient. He did put up with a wee bit too much shit. But he's not afraid to get up and dance on TikTok, have fun with his friends. Last night, he was crying. He was showing a bit of emotion. No toxic masculinity. Loving him. And last night, when Lorne was really upset, he walked up to her and he didn't say, oh, you okay? I noticed you're upset. He says, oh, I noticed you're in touch with your emotions. And I was like, I love this guy. On yesterday's first look, we already seen that Boris took Emma to the hideaway. This seems as if it's came out of the blue, but the way they were talking in the hideaway is as if this has been going on before, because he says, oh, I can officially touch you now, or I can properly kiss you now. So it's as if they've been having chats and we've just not seen it. He pulled Billy Kiss for a chat and he says, the spark's not there, I think we should get to know other people. And she's like, fine, actually, I don't give a fuck. When Boris and Emma were going into the hideaway, Helena and Harry seen them, and Helena was like, oh, go Emma, and Harry was like, go Emma. Oh, do you think they'll be kissing? Do you think they'll be going into the hot tub? He's jealous as fuck. It's so clear. Then Billy Kiss pulled Cash for a chat, and she says, is everything totally over between you and Tony? And he says, to be honest, it probably would have been okay if she hadn't handled it the way she did, like a fucking two-faced lying skis bag. She's got an absolute fucking cheek to talk about Harrison or anybody else in that house. Anyway, Cash to win. After Tony picked Harrison, Lorne was fucking devastated. And the girls are kind of like, alright, calm down. But most of them didn't realise that they had had sex. Obviously Helena knew because she's the one who gave them the condom, right? But they were obviously very confused about the whole situation. As the viewers at home, we knew it had happened, and I was still confused because he did tell her that he was obsessed with it, and he did tell her that he wanted to be with her, but at the same time, he was still talking to Tony, and he still told her that he wanted to get to know Tony. So it didn't make any sense for her to be like, oh, he told me it was all about me. He clearly wasn't. Harrison was like, oh, I feel really bad, I'm such a bad person, crocodile tears. And even Dijon was like, what the fuck? Like, you went and pulled Tony for a chat and told her that you liked her just before the decoupling. That was a bad idea. You've known what's been going on for days. And then Tony piped up and she's like, what are you talking about? What's the purpose in this conversation? I'd have been like, bitch, shut your fucking face. I am allowed to sit and talk about you the way you sit and talk about every other cunt in this villa. It really bugs me that they don't swear at each other in there. Like, are they not allowed? And then when I think about movie night and Shakira called Helena a bitch, and they were like, oh my god, that was out of hand, that was out of order. Was it fuck? Being called a bitch is no big deal. You'd be like, oh, if you don't like being called a bitch, you probably don't want to know what I really think about you. When you've got Dijon and Harry telling you that you'd been out of order, you know there's a problem. Harry is a fucking cunt, as we know. In this episode specifically, when he was saying, oh, I could get Shakira back if I wanted, I literally just recorded like a whole thing about it. And then I had to delete it because I thought, oh, my sound's going to get deleted again. But just so you know, I do not have one positive thing to say about Harry. Not even one. And let's be honest, we're at the point now where Harrison's just as bad. Once again, I am so confused by Lauren, because she says to the girls, it's not my job to tell Tony what me and Harrison done, it's his job. Whereas I would just turn around and say, it's so weird, Harrison, that we did this last night, and then you went up and told Tony that you want to be with her. And just come out with it. Like, why do people not want to fucking be honest? When Tony found out what Harrison and Lauren done, and I have to be careful with my words because my sound might get removed again, but she said, oh, Harrison is a bad guy, like, I can't believe he did that, and then left her. So she pulled Lauren for a chat. And Lauren said, I'm not the sort of person who just does that with people. I have to like them, I have to know that, like, we're going to be together, or we're secure, or they like me, or whatever. I just don't believe it. Because Harrison told her that he was still getting to know Tony. And she still went with him. And she went with him on national TV. Now listen, I've said this a million times. If you want to do that on national television, by all means, go ahead. If you want to go with somebody that you've only known for an hour, a day, a week, by all means, go ahead. Right? There's no problems here. But do not then turn around and say, oh, I don't usually do that. I think that's a blatant fucking lie. I've seen a lot of people in the comments the other videos saying that she's being shamed and he isn't. And I am not shaming anybody. The difference is he's doing it on the TV and he's proud to do it and he's not bothered. But she's now going to be embarrassed because she's done it. She should have thought about that before she done it. He's the one sitting there talking to the boys like, oh, 2-0, like a wee first year, like showing off. And she's the one thinking there's feelings involved when there was clearly no feelings involved. Aye, okay, he told her, oh, I'm thinking about you as being a girlfriend outside, I'm obsessed with you and all that. But he was still getting to know Tony. It doesn't make any fucking sense. None of the two of them can greet about it. I also seen a couple of videos last night where people were saying that Lauren and Ty were plants. Now, we seen them chatting last night, and considering it was the first time they'd talked, they were being very flirty and laughing and all that, and I thought, where the fuck is this coming from? I did mention in a previous video that Lauren was supposed to be in the Love Island dry run, where they put people into the house, they test the mics, camera angles and all different things, and then the producers contacted her and brought her back. But it's supposed to be that Ty was also there, and apparently they hooked up. Apparently. But last night when they were speaking, and she says, oh, I didn't think you were going to pull me for a chat and all that, and they were like very flirtatious, it was as if it was the first time they'd ever spoke. And this is the problem that I've got with reality TV, because I want reality TV to be real. I wish that they would just mention or show you the fact that they've met before. I can't stand it. They've probably been sent in there and told not to talk about the dry run. Like, we know that these things happen. When people go into Big Brother, they'll say, oh, I met you at the audition, or I know you from before, or whatever else. Why can't they just do that in Love Island? Because when they hide it, it makes it look fake as fuck. Tony pulled on for a chat at the end, and she was saying, oh, I found out what you did last night. I don't believe a word he says. It's a case of, I want what I can't have, and he's going to try and keep flip-flopping between the two of us. You're too good for him and I'm too good for him. How many times have we heard this? How many times? I swear to God, see if I was the sort of person who just had all the extra time in the world, I would go back to episode 1 and count however many times she says that she's too good for somebody or that she's done with somebody. See, next season, I'm actually going to write down everybody's names and I'm going to count it, because it's continuous. Let me know what you thought of last night's episode, and I'll see you again tonight. And cash to win!